This is Rudolf of Germany, chapter 30 of my educational series concerning the tall, white alien race and humankind. The last chapter, chapter 29, was the beginning of an experimental series using subliminal information and telepathic influence upon the mind, the subconscious of the listener. I want to inform you that this video as well contains subliminal information and telepathic influence on your subconscious. Eventually, we will increase the force of transmission. The transmission starts now. The subject of my discussion with your subconscious today is the fact of multidimensional experience. You believe to only live on one dimensional plane, which is not the case. All creatures in the universe live in very many multiple universes at the same time, but believe, because they can only access one at a time, to be on one material and time plane at a time. This is not so. This experience of being on many different planes and switching from one dimension in the next is the reason I'm making this video series for you. In the last video, we started with very low wavelength in order to reach your subconscious. Sensitive people will already feel the difference during their dream phase in sleep and also breaking through in daily life. It will come, in some cases even, to situations where you in your wake life have the impression that you are not really experiencing what you usually experience in your ordinary life. It is maybe a little bit close to what is in pathological terms called schizophrenic delusion. But schizophrenic delusion is not a disease. It is just a sensitivity of a creature to switch from one dimension to the next involuntarily. Some people, some creatures who are into mysticism can do it also knowingly. In this video now, we have raised the frequency, and you might experience in the next few days during sleep and wake times strange situations which you cannot explain. Don't be afraid. Whatever happened to you will not harm you, because there are so many different dimensions you can live at the same time or switch from one to the next, that there is no such thing as the end to life. I give you one example. If somebody gets run over by a car and dies instantly without anticipating this incident or accident, and is not even aware that it happened, he might never know about that he died. He keeps on walking to the other side of the street and conducts himself like usual, not knowing that in a slightly different dimension his body has been killed a few seconds ago. He will go to work, to school, to his family, and keep living a natural life without ever knowing that on a slightly different dimension he's being taken to his grave and people mourn his death. He will keep his life up with his family, with his loved ones and friends and colleagues on a slightly different dimension, but this accident never has happened. This way you can experience through the influence I'm taking on to your subconscious very strange happenings, things which have been happening in the past, situations will be happen in the future, and in your here and now you will probably experience things which been very strange to you. I want you to sit back, relax, don't think much, just listen to my voice, because my voice is guiding you, and whatever comes out of my mouth, which you are observing right now, will go right into your subconscious, deep inside of you, and it will stay there, and it will create worlds you have never ever imagined they exist. I told you about the doppelganger syndrome a few videos back. A man walks this world and he himself has another one walking somewhere else, not knowing about it. These kind of situations might even happen to you too, and people might ask you why you have not reacted when they spoke to you. So, be aware that as you do it freely, with your free will, listening to these videos, that in the future a few very strange things might happen to you. Don't be afraid. There are many dimensions you can exist in. This is also an explanation how we tall white people roam this universe and can appear 1 second later in another place. This knowledge we use for intergalactic travel and to be always close to the ones in power, which don't even know that we are there. This was the 30th chapter of my educational videos. Sit back, take a little time. If you are a little dizzy, if you are a little tired, turn the experiment of now. Rudolf of Germany.